everyone. Oh my gosh, happy Thursday. Here we are again. We are coming together to talk about how to rewrite your story from self-sabotage to success, right? This is an amazing topic. I get to talk to women, clients about this every single day. I love it. Also, let me know what you think of this new camera. This is a new camera. I'm excited about it. It seems to be clear. I have all the technology struggles, so please feel free to let me know in a comment what you think about that. But anyway, so I love to speak about this because there are so many ways that we sabotage ourselves, right? And we talked about this earlier on in the week. If you saw that video, that was all about our roadblocks, those things that hold us back, the ways that we self-sabotage. And I had a few different ones, and I'm going to get to those in a second. But I'd love to know if you resonated with that, right? What are the ways that because we all do it. We all have these fears that hold us back. We all have these behaviors that hold us back, right? So today we're going to be focusing on, of course, noticing those, but also how do we get from there to where we want to go, right? We want to rewrite our story. We don't have to live the same story that we've been living this whole time. We always have a choice, and we can start today with that. We can go ahead and choose a different path for ourselves. We do not have to continue what we're doing because of what our families taught us, because of our so-called, loyalty, whatever, right? All of these things can get in our way and really hurt us and not help us to grow. So let's go ahead and talk about the ways that we can rewrite our story. And I would love to know, again, what you are, if you have watched the previous video, what you're thinking. Also tell me if you're live, if you're catching the replay. And also I'm looking out for comments. I'm not seeing any right now, only because who knows, this technology is fun times. So if you are on here, please let me know if you can hear me, if you can see me, what you think about this camera, if you're live watching the replay. Okay, let's dive in. So number one thing that I want folks to do and that I talk to folks about is getting clarity. So this is like my number one thing. You will notice that I touch on this a lot. And it's because we can't go anywhere if we don't know where we're going, right? So when I'm meeting with clients, when I'm doing my free strategy breakthrough sessions, right? The first thing we're doing is we're becoming clear, having this clear vision of where we want to go and what we want out of our life. So I want you to, when you're thinking about this, I want you to put aside all of the stuff, all of the things that you've had, the patterns, the behaviors, the regrets, the day-to-day operations. I want you just to put that all aside. And I want you to think about, if you could rewrite the story now, what would that look like for you? Where would you be living? What would you be doing? Was it the same job? Is it a different job? Are you with the same person? Are you with a different person? Are you going to school? Are you working? What's going on? Are you starting your own business, right? These things are so important to get very clear on. And sometimes I think too, as women, we don't allow ourselves, A, the time, and B, the space to really sit and allow ourselves to think about that. And I could talk about that for hours and hours, but that'll come up in a second of why we don't do that. But I want to invite you to think about that when we're rewriting our story. So we're going to get away from the self-sabotage. We're going towards success. Where do you want to go? Number one is getting very clear, getting a vision. What are your values? What do you want out of life? What do you not want out of life? Sometimes the lessons of what we don't want are just as important as the lessons of what we do want. So think about like a crappy job you've had, right? It's like, I hated that experience. I don't want to do it. I know somebody that went to school for physical therapy and was adamant, was sure that they were going to go and do that. And I asked them, I was like, have you ever actually, because it was a struggle, right? Getting, here and there for them. And that happens. But I kind of asked them, I was like, have you actually ever been to a physical therapist office? Have you ever, have you ever went and seen what they're doing on a daily basis? So they went and job shadowed and came back and said, oh my God, I hate this, right? So those lessons are so important to learn just as much as what we want to do, right? Having a good experience, sometimes having that other experience can teach us, right? What's on your bucket list? What are you willing to put up with? What are you willing to not put up with, right? Do you want abundance in life? What does that mean? What does that look like to you? So when you have a clear vision of where you want to go, what you want to do, this is going to address confusion. This is going to really get rid of the second guessing. This is going to get rid of being confused about where you're going and what you're doing, because when you have that clear vision, you're able to better have a clear path of how to get there, and you're going to be able to silence the noise better, right? You're going to be able to say no easier. You're going to be able to know what's for you and what's not for you. And I think we can get really stuck in that a lot, in the shiny object syndrome of, oh, what about this? What about this? What about this? Right? So clarity, number one, so important, having that vision. Okay. Number two is knowing your roadblocks and blind spots. So some people like to do this first. I like to do this secondary, because a lot of times we're aware a little bit of what we don't like, right? It's kind of like we almost have this like negative focus, and that's okay, right? That's kind of normal. But what I would encourage you to do is get clear and get that vision first, so that we know where we're going, right? We have that positive thing to look forward to and go to. But number two, I want you to understand what your roadblocks and your blind spots are. And I want you to, when I work with clients, I do this in a more thorough fashion. So we get really deep nitty gritty in there to know all of the things we can expect, to know that our blind spots are, where these can come up for us, right? It's important to know. How do you sabotage yourself, right? We talked about that on Monday. What's getting in your way? How does fear play a role in holding you back from what you want? We talked about those ways of self-sabotage, right? Fear of failure, right, can hold us back. Fear of success can hold us back. Fear of the unknown, right? We talked about how our brain, our system is meant to protect us. And so sometimes when there's new things, new opportunities, new pathways, that can seem very overwhelming and scary to us. And so our brain kind of automatically shuts down and says no. And that's more out of protection than anything. But knowing that is half the battle, right? So then we know how to address it. Fear of judgment. So fear of judgment from somebody else or yourself. I mean, fear of judgment is probably the number one thing when I'm talking to women and my own struggles, right? Having to go through that. That is a huge, huge, huge thing that can show up in so many different ways. That can show up in your personal life, in your relationships, in the things that you wear and the things that you eat, right? In your business. It can hold you back from making money. Like, this is a huge, huge topic, and I can go on for hours about that too. And one day I will, so watch out for that. But know your own very unique roadblocks and blind spots. And again, we all have a lot of these in common, but we also might know like there's specifics to that, right? So fear of judgment from Granny might be the worst thing ever, right? Instead of somebody else, where fear of judgment from, a mentor might be the worst thing ever. I don't know, right? It's all individualized. So knowing that is going to be number two, really important, of how to rewrite the story, right? When we're self-sabotaging, we have to know what we're doing so that we can correct the behavior. Number three is going to be creating a plan. So knowing what you want, knowing what's holding you back from that, can then kind of bridge the gap and allow us to get clear on a plan of how we're going to address these things, how we're going to address those roadblocks and blind spots and get through those, work through those, and then finally get to, right, the goals, the dreams, all the things, clear your path and know the steps to take to get there. You can do this with the help of, with my help, even with that breakthrough strategy session that I'm talking about. That's for free. That'll be put up in the group as well. This takes the guessing out, right, and the hesitating and the discomfort of the not knowing. That goes back to that fear of the unknown. We can get rid of that, right? Creating a plan, yeah, so that can be done with help if that's what you need, right? Number four is going to be knowing your worth. So again, knowing and loving yourself is so important. All of these things that I'm talking about today, these are all tenets, these are all principles and aspects of the Braver life coaching, the Be Brave group coaching, all of that coaching that I do, we're talking about these things because these are the principles, these are the really the important pieces, the meat and potatoes, right, of what we need to do to up-level our life. We need to know this. Knowing your worth is so important. And you may think, oh, well, I already kind of do that. Raise your hand, put it in the comments. Like, do you feel like you know your worth and that you are speaking to yourself lovingly every single day? You know, for some of us, it comes easier than others. And even for those of us who do feel like we have a good handle, you know, this is like a daily mindset focus, right? This can always be up leveled. We can always be giving ourselves that support and love and the things that we need, right? Speaking loving words to yourself, retraining your brain on the language that we're using, like this is so important. I mean, I want you to pay attention this week, right? Just to kind of put this in an experiment. I want you to listen to the words that are coming out of your mouth. Are you devaluing yourself or the things that you provide or your relationships or your services, your business? And you may think, right, automatically, no, I wouldn't do that. Why would I do that? But it's so ingrained in us sometimes. We have the fears, we have these things that we carry with us. And, you know, it's just, it comes out in our language. So I want you just to pay attention closely to that this week and just notice the language that you're using there. And go ahead and, you know, when you notice that, when you kind of catch yourself on that language, it's going to be the next step is, right, speaking lovingly to yourself and just saying, oh, let me rephrase that. And let's say it differently, coming from a positive place. That's where we always want to come from, right? The abundance and the positivity. That's going to really help us up level too, right? Number 5 is get accountability, right? Whether you use a coach, whatever, a program, any type of support that can help you with your mindset and keeping you like on task with your goals. Because let's be honest, right? Like I take this example of, a diet and workout, right? We've got a lot of, I think even health coaches in our group, which is exciting. But we have, you think about going on a diet, you think about getting on an exercise plan, and that can feel very overwhelming. You think about, wanting to quit your job and go to a different job. You're thinking about making a big life transition, or even just being stuck and hating that and wanting better for yourself. That all requires some help, and that's okay. That is okay. If you're a coach watching this, if you're a wellness coach or whatever, again, we need you, right? Like we all need, and there's so many different types of coaches. Like, so for me, I'm empowerment. I'm helping with lifestyle and life changes, right? And just feeling like, getting your confidence and achieving that next level without burnout, right? That's what I do. And with self-love, kick that self-doubt to the curb, right? That's the kind of stuff that we need to up level in our lives. And sometimes we need help and support with that because let's be honest, right? As humans, like we're naturally a little lazy. Again, new things might be scary, right? It might be mental blocks, right? A lot of this is mindset. So if you can have someone to help you through that, help you shine the light on the answers that are really within you. A lot of the time, right, you have it. It's just having someone help you shine the light on it, the answers that you already have, and kind of really, again, be held accountable in, am I repeating these old patterns? Or am I moving toward the positive goal spot that I want to be in, right? And sometimes you need an outside perspective to help you with that. And that's totally great. But get some sort of accountability. That is going to help you to rewrite your story, right? We are coming from self-sabotage to success. We are rewriting that story. And this goes on to, for me to say, the number 6 thing is live your new story daily. So you're getting clear, right? You're getting clarity, you're getting your vision, you're knowing where you want to go. You're understanding what your roadblocks are, what's holding you back, those barriers, right? So we can better address them. You're creating that plan to get from point A to point B. You are knowing your worth, right? Loving yourself, believing that you can do these things, because sometimes change is so hard, right? You gotta believe and love yourself through that so much. Getting that accountability and helping, right? We're helping create that new version of reality for you. That's totally possible and totally doable. And living that new story every day. So if you want to be a millionaire, are you going to continue to do the stuff that you were doing when you were working at a minimum wage job? Probably not, right? you're going to need to put in more effort and love and energy into those behaviors, into those action steps to get you in that mindset, right? To get you to that goal. So, you know, if you're wanting to be a millionaire, there's a lot that you're going to have to work on. You're going to have to discover your money mindset. You know, where does that land for me? Is it okay to even be a millionaire? There might be something in here blocking that, right? And then there's other things, right? There's tangible steps, right? So energy shifts is another huge thing, right? We need to get out of this stuck place and get into this place of flow and abundance. And, you know, these things are all important. The actions, the mindset, the behavior, the energy shift, right? All of that is important and necessary daily, right? On a daily basis, or really that concerted effort to increase and up level, right? Increase your capability and up level to where you want to go and what you want to be, right? What you want to do. So I'm so excited. I hope you got value. Please tell me what your aha moment was from this, because this is like the roadmap, right? I want to also say to number one step, again, where I work with all my clients, this is the getting clarity and creating that clear vision. So next week, so starting Monday, March 15th, we are starting up a 5-day free workshop. It's going to be held right here in this group. So I'm super excited about it. And this is going to be all about focusing in on getting clarity and creating your vision for your life. This is your turn to decide, your time to decide what you want. And we are going to go through it in depth. And it's going to be so illuminating, aha moments. I mean, we did this in January. It was freaking awesome. People were just aha moments. Coming back to plans that they had or dreams that they were kind of scared to approach and going for it. Like, it was so cool, you guys. I can't wait to do this again. So anyway, so Monday we're starting. I'm going to put a link to register. You do have to sign up and register. You will get a workbook, a full workbook with all of the information you're going to need. You're going to have some activities to do, right? You're going to have some, questions, prompts, things like that. So, day one, we're going to be really getting into allowing the space to allow ourselves to do these activities. We will have questions. We're going to be doing vision board. So if you already have one, it's great to update. If you don't have one at all, I'm going to be walking you through the steps to get there. We're going to be really digging deeper and asking ourselves the questions that are going to get us to these answers, right? We're going to blow out our bucket list. So if you have one, bring it. If not, we're going to totally, or rewrite it. That's awesome. And we're going to be really getting clear on like the next 30, 90 days to help you. What are those steps that you need to do? And then the last day, we're going to definitely go in and do the game changer. So what is the thing that you need now to go forward and get what you want? So I'm so excited. This is going to give you all sorts of clarity. This is the first step in getting to where you want. So please sign up. And again, it's free, 5 days. If anyone that's watching this has done it, has done the previous challenge in January, let me know your feedback. I'd love to hear that. I know we had lots of great feedback afterwards, but feel free to share your experience with the folks that are thinking about it. It's going to be 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. And again, the videos will be available in the group. So if you have to miss for whatever reason, come in later when you can. Follow the instructions, follow the videos. It's going to be great. So I can't wait to see you there. Let me know if you have questions about it. I'll post the link. And I hope you have a wonderful day. And we'll see you soon.